So let's discuss that and more. We're joined by Vinay Khattar, Associate Director and Head of Research at Edelweiss. And we've also got a view from Hemant Kanawala, Head of Equity at Kotak Life Insurance. Gentlemen, what a time for us to kickstart a conversation. Markets, as we speak, hovering around those lifetime high levels. Hemant, I want to start off with you first. What's it looking like? I mean, October as a month and the way it's played out was extremely volatile. But towards the end, are we seeing that momentum again pick up?
I think so, because last 2 months has been volatile globally.
True.
On the back of concerns on Europe as well as what will Fed do in their meeting. So last 2 months where the global selling of India, I think, consolidated well after the good gains, and with the spread of reforms initiated by the government in the month of October, we believe that we are towards the end of that consolidation phase, and markets can look up going forward.
Right. All right. Vinay, what's your call when it comes to where you see markets headed? A lot of optimistic calls coming in, a lot of very bullish calls. But as we also just heard from Dilip, it will still take some time for fundamentals to catch up.
So a couple of things. One, in terms of just the markets, our view is aligned that it's a bull market. It's a multi-year bull run, which we are seeing. Probably we are still in the early stages of that. But one word of caution, that an average investor ends up losing far more money in bull markets than they do in bear markets because of the very aggressive positions that a lot of people hold. People tend to be more in higher beta stocks, mid caps, small caps. There is a huge amount of leverage. So when the corrections happen, people end up losing a lot more money. So that's a bit of caution that is advised. But overall, if you see the structure of the market, the structure of the economy, what's happening on the international side, India's stars appear to be absolutely aligned. You have oil prices coming down in a significant manner, which has significant impact on both our current account situation as well as on the fiscal side and inflation. You have generally commodities softening up on the domestic side, number of fiscal measures having been taken by the government. It's still time when you will begin to see the numbers actually coming in, and our interactions with industry is showing that sentiment is beginning to change. So the numbers may still take some time. Q3, Q4 would be more appropriate to look at that. But if you look at the overall situation, whether it is railways, whether it is defense, very, very large number of orders are beginning to flow through the system. Power sector could be the next one. Probably some of the coal mining issues, pain could be behind us. So net overall, things appear to be very, very aligned for a strong economic rally as well as a market rally.
Well, I'm just looking at the way the months actually played out. On last 1 month basis, the benchmark index is up almost 2.5%, and what a move it's actually given in terms of the way the markets have played out. There have been a whole host of stocks that have lost out in that period, but the outperformers are predominantly from the banking pack is what we've seen, and that really has been the headline in terms of the way the banking packs really come back a little bit this month and given that little bit of a boost to the benchmark index. Don't look at the way it's playing out right now, but for the month itself, you got IndusInd, Axis, ICICI Bank, a whole host of them seeing some good gains coming in. So, Hemant, what are your thoughts when we talk about the banking and the financial space here? Is that something that probably is expected to give markets a little bit of a support? Are you betting on that theme?
Certainly, because I think financials did well after we saw very good print on inflation at the start of the month, where CPI is moving well ahead of even RBI's projections, and with recent softness in the international commodity prices, particularly oil, the inflation can easily meet RBI's first target of February 15 of 8%. And although there were some worries that whether it will go to 6% by January 16 or not, but now the belief is that it can achieve even before that if the current softness in the commodity prices continue. So what we believe that there is now much more room for monetary action on the downside by the government. What is not, if you see the recent results, what is not really improved so far is the asset quality side. So that banks which had asset quality issues may continue to have some pressures on those front. But going forward, I think so a lot of expectations are going to be built on when the rate cut starts happening, and so with that view, the next RBI policy in the later part of the month, the November month, will be very, very crucial. And but I think so overall, when the interest rates go lower and inflation continues to surprise us, financials will be at the forefront of the action. So we believe that financials will drive the market going forward.
Right. Vinay, what about you? What do you think of financials and the way they're placed currently? We've had ICICI Bank numbers out today. Still asset quality concerns at the fore when it comes to some of these banking majors.
Our sense of the entire BFSI space is that this being a rate sensitive space and the possibility of rate cut happening sooner than later is emerging. You have inflation which has been on a downward trajectory and probably in a more comfortable zone than what RBI was anticipating. So a 6% target by 2016 beginning looks like highly achievable, and probably before that. Overall, as the rate cut possibility emerges and the bond yields are already beginning to show that you have had 100 bips correction already from 9.2 peak to about 8.2, 8.25 at what levels they are trading, the entire banking and financial services space will continue to do well. But within this segment, you would need to differentiate between public sector banks, private sector banks and NBFCs. Everybody may not necessarily participate in this rally equally. Private sector bank, to our mind, could be in a better position. If you look at number of them, the credit growth continues to remain in mid to high teens as compared to public sector banks, where they are in just mid single digits, 5 to 6%. Asset quality is definitely superior for private sector banks, where both gross NPAs and restructured assets are all in the region of 2, 3, 4%, while for public sector banks, this could be all in double digits. Now, the only thing which could be going in public sector banks' way is if the rate cut happens, then they have significant large AFS books, which could mean short-term gains and provide some impetus to the prices. But if we were to look at it structurally, private sector banks are the other way to go forward. Coming specifically to ICICI, I think the numbers that the company has given are reasonably strong numbers, though I agree with you that some degree of asset quality strain does remain. There is a 20 bips deterioration in the asset quality with gross NPAs going up. But overall, if the rate cut happens or the interest rate cycle begins to trend downward, there is an improvement in sentiment in the overall market. This could get taken care of in the coming quarters. The important point to note is that they have been able to maintain CASA at a reasonably earlier quarters level. The cost to income ratios are down, which indicate that the profitability could improve. ROAs are beginning to look up. So net, it looks like an attractive bet from the current levels.
Since we're talking about some of the outperformers, want to pull up the IT pack, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, all of them have been gaining and showing some good strength. Vinay, any quick comment here as far as the IT pack is concerned as to how that's shaping up?
You see, IT has had a reasonably good run in this quarter because of the numbers coming out of US. We have seen most of the companies reporting Q-on-Q growth of 4 to 5%, which is a pretty healthy numbers coming out of US. Second, the demand pipeline, the client pipelines, the deals, everything looks positively poised, which clearly indicates that both the discretionary and otherwise the spend in the US is beginning to pick up, which is a significant market for Indian IT. Tech Mahindra, of course, has been one of the most outperformers. They've had almost a 10% growth in US. They've done reasonably well in India, though there has been some degree of pressure coming out of Europe because they have a significant exposure to that because of BT. But overall, net, the company has done reasonably well. So with rupee staying stable at the current level 60-61 and probably some chance of depreciation if that were to emerge going forward, given that the dollar is strong, the tailwinds for this sector will continue to exist. over and above this, you find that India business for some of these guys is beginning to pick up in an appreciable manner, with Modi government talking increasingly of modern governance, e-governance, and so on and so forth. India opportunity for number of these companies could be very, very attractive over the coming years. So overall, a very positive trend which could emerge in the IT sector is what we are seeing.
Right. Hemant, oil and gas, and particularly RIL, considering the way it has started to pick up, activity has been building up in that counter of late? Hemant, if you can hear me, your call on the oil and gas space, and particularly just looking at an RIL today, you may not want to comment on a specific stock, but that's just drawing our attention to the pack as a whole as well. Your call on the oil and gas pack. Okay, I'm not sure if Hemant can hear me, so I'll come back to Hemant in a moment. Vinay, let me put that question to you. Oil and gas and RIL.
In terms of the overall oil and gas, few of the things which are definitely going in the direction of in the favor of this particular sector is the prices of diesel coming down. As we all know, that diesel under recoveries were a major headache for the last government. They have caused huge amount of fiscal deficit strain in the last few years. But with the previous government first taking the decision of increasing the diesel prices by 50 paisa per month, and now the diesel under recoveries have become positive. We have already had a cut. There is a talk that probably you could have another 2 rupees to 2.5 rupees cut maybe in the coming months. So that tells you that the problems of the oil marketing companies could come down in a significant manner. Plus, government yesterday announced a minor hike in the price of the LPG as well as the CNG. So overall, that begins to play out well for the oil marketing companies. In terms of ONGC, there has recently been an announcement that the government may want to fix the subsidy element which ONGC and companies like Oil and GAIL are required to shoulder. If that formula comes out, it could take a lot of stress out of ONGC. ONGC has been quite a reluctant investment for most of the financial institutions, especially the foreign FIIs, because nobody knows what the subsidy number is going to be at any particular point in time in future. It is decided impromptu by the government depending upon what kind of deficits you are running and so on and so forth. So if a formula comes in and government decides to cap what ONGC is going to shoulder, it could be a strong impetus to provide impetus to the stock. And if the government is planning an OFS, it would make a lot of sense to come out with a clear formula in this. In terms of Reliance, I think the overall capex that the company is undertaking is very, very impressive. We believe that over the next 3-4 years, as the results of that capex begin to materialize, you could see significant traction both at the operating as well as at the PAT level. So in that sense, the story remains attractive for Reliance too.
All right, that's the kind of move that we're seeing on RIL today. 3% higher, extremely strong. That's been one of the key contributors on the index today as well, along with some of the names like TCS, which is up almost 2%, and Infi as well, which is up almost 1.6%. Strong contributions are coming in from these three counters that have really lifted the benchmark indices today, is what we're seeing. In fact, I want to just quickly mention another counter, that's HDFC, which is up almost 1%, along with HUL and L&T, all contributing quite a bit. Hemant, running extremely low on time, 30 seconds to go. What are your top themes that you'll be focusing on in the near to the medium term?
And there are two themes we continue to focus. One is economic recovery and other is fiscal consolidation. In terms of economic recovery, we believe the economy has bottomed out, and we are the early phase where consumption typically tends to do well. So discretionary consumption is what we like to play, and in terms of automobiles or select consumer durables, which will be a main beneficiary in the early part. Other thing is what government has been focusing on reducing the fiscal deficit, and has initiated a number of reforms on that side, particularly the diesel has been deregulated now. So the beneficiaries of that will be oil and gas companies as well as the banking sector, because the moment government fiscal deficit comes down, the potential to cut interest rates in the system goes up, and banking will be direct beneficiary of it. And on the investment side, we believe cement is a sector which is well placed, because as the infrastructure and the investment in the economy picks up, cement will be the first beneficiary of it, and order flow will take some time to figure it out. So overall, to put in a nutshell, it is discretionary consumption, banking, and cement are the themes we believe will play out in the near to medium term.
All right, gentlemen, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining in today and getting your thoughts and perspective on the market and the way it's actually looking going forward from here. What a session we've actually got. As we're counting down to close, markets are slated to close at record highs.
Today's market closing.